Hello, everyone. I know there's like a delay when you do this stuff, so I'm going to give everyone a second to hop on. Make sure you say hi in the chat so that I know you guys are here and that you can hear me and all of that fun stuff. I know I haven't been on here in quite some time. It's been about 2 weeks, maybe, since I made a video, but I just needed a little bit of a break to focus on a few other things that are going on right now in my life. But yeah, we'll chat about all that. I'm kind of combining a bunch of different things into this live. I do want to do like a brief little what sold section in this live. Hey, Cindy. So what I did was I created like this little mini PowerPoint kind of thing. It's just a few slides, and I just want to talk about like my last 14 days of reselling and what that's looked like for me. And what are some of the items that I've sold that I thought were interesting or I wanted to share with you guys. And then I'm also going to show you a little bit of analytics of what what that's kind of looking like right now and how my average selling price is so much lower than what it normally is, and we'll get into all that. And I obviously would like your feedback as well as to what reselling is looking like for you right now. I see some people are starting to trickle in, so hi everyone. I have Invisalign. I don't know if you can see that. So if I talk a little funny, that's why. I'm still getting used to them. They're different. I will say it's a great way to diet, I guess. If you're in the business of wanting to shed a few pounds, it is highly annoying to have to take these things off when I drink tea, if I want to have a coffee, every time I eat. I need to take them off, do what I got to do, and then hurry up, brush my teeth, and put them back in because you can only have them off for, I think it's like 22 hours. Definitely past that point today. I'm definitely in like the 20-hour range because I was sitting down doing things and I forgot that I didn't put my Invisalign back in. So if you've ever had Invisalign, how was it for you guys? Or if you know someone that had Invisalign. So far, it feels good. This is my first try, so I really can't give any feedback on how it's going to be. But that's something new. I got them last week. So that's been fun dealing with that and kind of learning how to structure my day and bringing literally a carry-on to work between some testing that I need to do every single day for my doctor that requires a different kit of things that I have to do multiple times a day. Plus, I have this Invisalign, which requires me bringing my toothbrush and all of the necessities that I need for that. Yeah, so that's been interesting to navigate. But the fun thing that I did this week was I actually started lifting again this week. So a little life update here. Yeah, I started to lift again. I did a little very mini circuit of powerlifting last night in the basement. Very like basic movements, but kind of just getting my body back into it all. I'm feeling it now. Wasn't feeling it before, but I'm definitely feeling it now. And I'm happy though to like start to get back into it. I definitely cannot lift in a capacity that I would love to do, but that's okay. But that's my little life update for you guys. What's been going on in the last 2 weeks. Just dealing with some stuff, but I figured I'd come on here instead of filming a video and just interact with everyone and have discussions. And hello to everyone. Make sure you say hi in the chat if you guys want to. You guys can have side conversations while you're listening to me. You can answer whatever you guys want to do. But definitely feel free to interact with that. What I think I want to do is I want to start off with my what sold and kind of going from there. I figured out there's a way for me to share slides on here. I like never play around with StreamYard. So what I did was I created slides in Canva and I uploaded them here in StreamYard and I can share them with you. So hopefully this goes right while I'm doing this. If not, I'll just talk about it. I'll pull up the slides on my end and talk about it. But I think I can add to stream, which I'm going to do right now. There we go. So you can still see me and I can show you my sales. Sorry if the little StreamYard guy is in the corner there, so you can't really see it. But these are my, I think I did 9 sales over the last 2 weeks. That's all I did. I didn't go back to all of February. I just really wanted to focus on the last 2 weeks because I know that it has been very difficult out there for everyone. I know I'm feeling it on my end. We can talk about it when we get into the analytics portion of this, but there's a lot happening right, in the world. And I think we're starting to see these economic instances that are happening within reselling. Now, there's some people that are not experiencing any slowdown, and and that's great. I mean, that's awesome. But I think for some of us, we're seeing a little bit of a dip here and there. So we'll get into all that. But here are some of my sales. So what I did is I showed you a picture of what it is it sold, what it was called, and where it sold, how much it sold for, and what my cost of goods was. So very similar to like if I were to do what sold as a recording. But here we go. So this is a Free People tote. This is a tote that I would put in your memory bank, maybe write it down, the title, and what it looks like. This is definitely a bolo. As soon as I listed it, I can't even tell you how many people started to like and send me messages and send me offers on it. This is called the Grove. It's a very soft leather. It's quilted, as you can tell in this picture. I rehabbed this bag. And this is the bag. So for those of you who are in the chat, they're in the Patreon and in the Discord, I talked about with you guys that I rehabbed it. I cleaned it. It was super dirty. So I washed this bag. I dunked it in water for 3 rounds. It was that dirty. It had this weird film on it. Every time that I took it out of the water, it was yellow and disgusting. I used the Laundress, which is a line you can get on Amazon. I used their stain remover. I kind of put it all over. I scrubbed it in. I put this in a Dawn dish soap blend with some warm water. I also put a little bit of the Laundress stain remover in it as well. Let it soak for almost 24 hours. I changed the water 3 times within that 24 hours just because I could tell like it just needed to be changed. It was that gross, and I'm weird about that kind of stuff. So I did that, and then it took a really long time to dry. So that's just part of the process when you're rehabbing leather bags. Drying can take a while. This took 2 days to dry. And I think it's because I had to soak it for so long. So this was the final product. It came out really nice. This is very close to what the original color was. I will say sometimes when you soak, you can't get 100% back to what the original was. And, for the most part, that's okay. You could go much further into this and dye it if you wanted to and all that. But this is kind of like what the vibe was of distressed kind of look to it. So I had this listed for $100. It had a little bit of wear on the inside. I saw some that were sold for between 150 to 175. I priced it on the lower end of that, so 100, knowing I'd get an offer on it. Got an offer of 70, accepted. The girl was so excited to get this bag. She had been looking for it, couldn't find it anywhere. My cost of goods was $11, so great return on investment on this piece. Okay, this brand, I don't know if this is a boutique brand. I had come across it in the thrift store maybe about 5 months ago, and there was a lot of it, and it looked like they had gotten liquidation or something, which Savers does that sometimes to get pallets of liquidation. So this brand, Shabby Chic, it retailed, I want to say for over $100, but the resale on it was kind of all over the place. And I think it's because it's a boutique brand. I feel like we see this a lot with boutique brands. Their resale kind of isn't there because it's not something that's as mainstream as your typical brands like, I don't know, J. Crew or, anything like that. So this is called Shabby Chic. I don't know how to say this. Blythe. I don't know. Smocked Bodice Maxi Dress. That was my actual title. So I'm in the process of me doing this. I just shared my actual title so you can see what SEO I was putting in for these. Sold on Poshmark for $60. I had it listed for $125 because the retail on it was so high. I didn't think I was going to get $125 for it. So very happy with the $60 since my cost of goods was $9. So that was a nice little flip. I still have 2 pieces from this brand. They get a lot of attention. People like them, ask questions about it and everything, but just no bites on it. But we'll see. They're more springy and summery pieces, so maybe they'll do well as the months go on. This next flip I was very excited for. It's Coach. It's the Pebble Leather Prairie Satchel. The Prairie Satchel in particular does really well. It is definitely a style that I look for when it comes to Coach. I will pick up Coach leather handbags. I typically don't pick up the monogrammed handbags, but I know with the Y2K and everything, that's kind of becoming a thing again. I just like to stick to the leather. I like to sell leather goods. I had sourced this online. I sourced it from another reseller who was clearing out their closet. They were not going to be reselling for a while. So they had a special on all their handbags. I think I purchased 4 or 5 handbags from this individual. And so my cost of goods was a little bit higher because I sourced it on Poshmark. So you'll see my cost of goods was 15. That includes the shipping that I paid on that. But I sold it for 125. I had it listed for 150. So I took an offer of 125. Really happy with that sale. Definitely prairie, that prairie style. Put that on your list of things to be on the lookout for as well. All right, we're going to go into some shoe sales here. These again are all Poshmark. I do have some eBay sales, which I'll show you on the next slide, but eBay really the last 2 weeks has, really the last 4 weeks has been pretty stagnant for me. So with these, okay, I never really sell men's, but this day I had happened to go into the men's section. This is the day that I found a pair of Nobles that were men's as well, but they were unisex, men's, women's. You could use it for either one. And I saw these Brooks there, and I know that Brooks typically does well. And I knew that the Ghost version of these Brooks shoes, the Ghost 13, does really well. And I've learned a lot of this about men's shoes from watching other YouTubers, like Dealing with Dalton. He's one of the YouTubers that I'll watch and follow on Instagram. He's specifically just a shoe seller. Drew, who is Profit Monsters, I believe. I watch his stuff too, and he's specifically just shoes. There's a lot of YouTubers that I will watch and follow just to learn more about men's shoes. So that's typically what they tend to focus on or know more about. So they share it. So I knew the Ghost 13s were good. And they were an excellent, like, I don't think they were ever really worn. The treads on it were amazing. And these sold, I mean, I guess the offer was decent. My cost of goods was 8. I accepted a $55 offer. I want to say the solds were between the $50 to $75 mark. Some were higher, but those were more of like the newer tags version. So this, yeah, I mean, this made me want to maybe venture into men's shoes a little bit more and familiarize myself with more shoes. And I see Cindy saying that she's wants to focus more on shoes because the return on investment. And I have always been someone that focuses a lot on shoes, but I focus on a lot of women's shoes. And I think the more comfortable I'm getting with men's shoes, I'm realizing how quickly they're selling for me and what the market is really like. Almost all the men's shoes that I have listed over the last 2 months have sold with the exception of 2. But they've gotten a lot of attention. I think I might have them priced a little too high, so I'll have to kind of play around with that and see what happens. But I think men's shoes is a good place to be. I'm not comfortable sourcing men's blouses, listen to me, button-ups or dress pants and stuff like that. Like, I'll go into the blazer section and I'll look through there, but it's just not a category that I'm familiar with or something that I really want to get into. But shoes I could do. Shoes and belts, I feel like I could get into that. And I definitely look at ties when it comes to men's wear as well, because I typically send them into the RealReal. But here we are. We sold the Brooks, $55, $8 cost of goods. This was fun. This definitely made my wheels start to turn. Also, let's see here. Anne is saying that shoes are so much easier to take pictures of. I agree. I can fly through photographing shoes like it's no one's business. And I also enjoy listing them. They're a lot easier to list. They don't require as much research. So that's always nice. Cindy, men also tend to buy the price you have them listed at. Yeah, these were an offer, but they were reasonable. It was a reasonable offer. I think I am priced at 75, so I'll take the 55. I always price a little bit higher. This is such like a Poshmark thing to do. I always price a little higher, knowing that offers are going to happen. I'm going to give an offer, anything like that. Yeah, so that was that. I saw someone saying, I don't know where it is. Right here, Satisfying Style reselling videos. Satisfying Style, what is your first name? So I can call you by your first name. But you love the Zara boots. These Zara boots were actually boots that I had bought for myself. I bought a bundle from a girl on Poshmark, and they were both my size. They're both Zara boots, and they were chunky, fun boots. One pair I wore a few times and decided, I'm not going to really wear these, so I'm going to sell them. And I did. This pair of boots, I had held off and hadn't tried them on. I don't know why. They were just sitting in my closet. And then when I did try them on, I realized they were a little snug for me. My left foot is a little bit wider than my right foot because of my rheumatoid arthritis that I have in my feet that developed over the last few years. So wearing certain shoes is difficult for me. And these are one of those shoes. So I had listed these a while ago. They sold on eBay. They sold for $65. And then the girl said the same thing. They were too tight on her. She returned them. I had recently relisted these probably about 3 weeks ago, and they sold for $58. This was an offer. They were listed at $65. My cost of goods was $12. So again, online arbitrage, the cost of goods is typically going to be higher. With between the online arbitrage and the retail arbitrage. So I'll definitely mention if something was online or whatnot. But these Brooks, these were at Savers, like I said before. All right, moving on to a pair of shoes I was so happy to sell this weekend because these have been sitting for a long time. This was a retail store purchase. These were retail arbitrage. These were Nike Air Force Ones. They are leather boots. They call them leather boots. They're a sneaker that's like a boot, but it's an Air Force One. These were actually men's, but I listed them as women's because the market seemed to be better in the women's section. I had 2 pairs of these. I paid $24. As you can see right here, my cost of goods was $24. The first pair, when I had originally listed these, I want to say it was over a year and a half ago when I listed these. The first pair sold within days, and they sold at full asking price of $150. So I was confident that the second pair would sell just as fast, except it did not. And it sat for a very long time, many relists. And finally, I got an offer for $80, and I've never jumped so fast to accept an offer. Yes, my cost of goods is $24. I still made money. I'm still happy with that. But that's kind of the risk that you take when it comes to retail or online arbitrage, but even with sourcing things in a thrift store, it really doesn't matter. But when you're spending a little bit more, that's kind of the risk that's in there, risk reward kind of thing. Is it going to sell for what I think it's going to sell? Or, oh my God, the first pair sold really fast and it sold for full asking price. The second pair will sell no problem. Those are kind of the things that you run into, but I was very happy for these to go to a new home. I hope the person likes them. All right, now we are going to go into 3 eBay sales. Like I said, eBay was kind of, it's kind of meh right now. And we have this Majorel bodysuit. This was super cute. I liked it a lot. It was a small size. It was an extra small. Listed on Poshmark, got a lot of attention. No bites. Got an offer on eBay, $50. I think I had it listed at $75, so reasonable. Paid $9. Off it went. Okay, this Emporio Armani dress. I got this in Boston in one of my thrift stores that I go to there. And so my cost of goods is a little bit higher than it would be here in Rhode Island. So my cost of goods was $12. I had this listed at $125. This is a true story. I have never sold Emporio Armani myself. I've always just sent it into the RealReal. But I wanted to challenge myself and I wanted to try to sell some of these brands myself. I've never done it. So I wanted to see if I could do it. Well, I did. And this dress actually, and I knew this dress would get attention just given the color blocking, the colors, the style. Like, it's just a dress that someone would want for either an event or career wear type piece. I totally didn't include the entire title. Oops, sorry, skipped a slide. I totally didn't include the whole title here, and I'm sorry for that. I just put color block, sleeveless. It should say dress at the end. I didn't copy and paste the whole thing. Anyway, this sold to a buyer on eBay, an offer is $60. I took it because I didn't know if I'd ever get an offer that high again on this. And I didn't want to have to send it to the RealReal because we'll talk about that, about the RealReal right now. I have to re-strategize how I do the RealReal, and we'll get into that. I know that this would get marked at like the 30% mark, and I'm just not into it. Just not into it. Hey, Jamie, you're not late. We're just going through some what solds. Don't worry about it. Okay, so that was the Emporio Armani. Next, okay, I know people don't like to sell this brand, Vineyard Vines. I will pick it up if it's new with tags and if it's a cashmere sweater. Those are my 2 requirements for Vineyard Vines. It has to be new with tags and it has to be a cashmere sweater, one or the other. So this was a newer tag, Vineyard Vines. It's called the Savannah. It's a cute little nautical blouse. I paid $11 because this was a Boston item as well. It sold for $60. It was an offer on eBay, so I was super happy with that. That's the one thing I have to say about selling. The difference between selling on eBay and on Poshmark. I feel like the offers that I get on eBay, for the most part, of course, there's always exceptions, tend to be kind of what I think I'm going to get, right? They're pretty much in that reasonable range that I think I'm going to get. The offers I get on Poshmark are just all over the place. There is no rhyme or reason. They are either great offers and they're only marking it off basically what shipping is going to cost them, or it's on the total other end of the spectrum. Let me know if you guys have the same, I don't want to say issue, but I guess experience, right? If you guys have the same experience as me when it comes to that, I'm trying really hard the last 2 going on 3 months to really put time and effort into eBay. I feel like I have moments when I'm seeing all my hard work pay off, and then I have so many moments where I'm like, why am I still doing this? Why do I do this to myself? I was in that place yesterday. And then I got a sale last night for a jacket that was listed for 150. They offered me 138. Like, and well, clearly I took it. But it's just one of those things. I don't even have any words for it. I really don't. Hi, Bridget. So nice to see you. Bridget is saying I picked up in your Vines tie-in swimsuit at the bins, both so reasonably well. Yeah, I think certain pieces of Vineyard Vines has a market for it. I think the traditional Vineyard Vines pullover, half zip type thing had its moment. Maybe it'll start to come back. I don't know. But I think there's some like tried and true pieces for Vineyard Vines that people really look for and they want. The tie, that's a good one. Vineyard Vines tie. I can see that. I can see that being a good flip there. Yeah, I think well, we sell similar things too, Jamie. So I think that plays a part in it too. I think it depends, and this is on every platform, what you're selling, what brands you're selling, what styles you're selling, right? Like if I were to transfer my closet onto Depop, I don't think it would work out that well. Maybe it would, who knows? I don't think it would. Um, where eBay and Poshmark kind of have similar customer bases, but the brands that they're looking for vary, and what brands are valued at vary. Like I know for a fact that a lot of my Madewell pieces are not valued the same way as they are on Poshmark versus eBay. Like they're valued very differently. Same with J. Crew. I feel like J. Crew, same camp, same company, right? They are valued at a lower rate on eBay in comparison to Poshmark. Certain pieces can be valued a lot higher. So there's a lot of nuances to all of reselling, right? Just going through your comments here, guys, before I go into my analytics portion here. Just got a $10 offer on Michael Kors purse, not in great shape. I have it listed for 45. I would counter that. When you say it's not in great shape, what do you mean by it's not in great shape? Is it leather? Like what are the parameters around that? Because Michael Kors is one of those other brands we've talked about in other What Sold videos. When it comes to their leather goods, I do really well with them. Their shoes, hit or miss, depends. If it's a leather booty, I can do well with that. Some of their other shoes, not so much. I think there's just so many factors to it. I send Vineyard Vines to ThreadUp. How does it do on ThreadUp, Robin? Hi, Linda. I have Vineyard Vines baby blue cashmere tie waist high neck sweater, and it's sitting in my closet for 6+ months. Yeah, I mean, I have a cashmere sweater too that's sitting. That sounds really pretty though. That sounds like a really pretty sweater. Is it only listed on one platform? Is it listed in various places? Let me know. Okay, but if the outside looks good, Robin, it depends on how bad the inside is. I feel like, and I do this for myself too when I'm sourcing handbags, either to sell or for myself. If the outside's in really good condition, the inside's it's okay, or it has marks on it, I typically will still purchase it. Maybe ask for a little bit of a discount on it because you can always clean the inside of a handbag, or you can send it somewhere to be cleaned. Outside gets tricky sometimes, so A lot of factors that go into it. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide, which are going to be some analytics that I'm going to show you. And then I have another analytics slide after this. So this is from my Reseller Genie because that's what I'm using right now. Um, I just kind of took some of their snippets of some things I want to share with you guys. So at the top here, you're going to see my gross profit, my average sale price, and my sell-through rate. My average selling price is putting into account all of my expenses that I've had right now. Regardless, it's down. My average selling price is typically anywhere from $55 to $65, depending on the month, depending on what I'm selling. There's so many different factors. It varies month to month, but on average, I'm in that $55 to $65 range. This month, I'm at $32.11. So that alone tells you how many sales I'm having, which is hardly any, and the offers that I'm accepting. So I'm definitely accepting lower offers on things. I want to get things moving. I don't want things to sit. I have inventory that I can list. Like I'm trying to get the systems flowing. I'm trying to get the money moving, trying to see what I can do on my end to maybe get Poshmark to come back to life. Because as you can see in this graph down here, 58.7% of my sales so far this month have come just from Poshmark. So Poshmark is my heavy hitter. Poshmark is where the majority of my sales are coming from, or most of my income is coming from. Now, for those of you who are new and who may not know me, Poshmark and eBay and all this stuff, like this reselling is not my full-time gig. I am a state employee, so I have a full-time job outside of the home. Reselling is a way for me to pay for things that I need, save for things that I want, or, it was one of the major contributors to my husband and I being able to buy the home that we're in today. So it is my, I guess, side hustle. I hate using these terms. It's a job that I have. It's something that I enjoy doing, but it is definitely secondary, right? Like if I made $10 one month, it would hurt because I do rely on some of this money for things, but I have a full-time income that comes in as well. So my gross profit being $1,220 for the last 2 weeks is very low for me. I don't want to say really low. I don't want to say that. It's lower than normal. I'm typically on months that are great, that things are selling, and it is just sales are going out the door and offers are coming in and things are moving. I was averaging at one point gross $1,000 a week. So if you're seeing this now, we're 2 weeks in and I'm only at $1,220.09. So there's a good $800, $700 missing that I haven't made. Yes, we're just starting the second week, but the sales that I accepted over the last 24 hours have been $30 and below. I'm not going to reach what I normally reach given the offers that I'm getting, which I'm very thankful for and I'm very happy with. But it's just not where I'm used to being at. My sell-through rate, though, oddly enough, is decent. I mean, this is typically in the 70% range, but I'm at 54.29%. So not bad given where we are in the month and how things are kind of shifting and not what they're normally at. At least I know what I'm listing and what's selling is at a decent number. I'd like for that to be a little bit higher, but 54.29. Okay, we can be okay with that. I had some Instagram sales this past month, or this month, I should say. So that accounted for 22.9% of my sales. This is very uncommon for me. I typically don't have many Instagram sales. My Instagram sales, I could count on probably one hand how many times it's happened. But so this is fine. This is another way for me to move inventory. There are no fees involved in terms of platform fees, obviously taxes that have to be put aside. But that was great. And thank you to those who may have purchased from me directly. Some were Instagram, and then I didn't account for a few people that purchased directly from me before it even went anywhere. That's not on this graph at this moment, but there's a couple of those too, but that's maybe 2% of the pie that we're looking at. And then here with eBay, you're seeing 18.4% of my sales. That's generally where eBay always is. Maybe give or take in that 20 to 25% mark, but on average, we're looking at about 15 to 18%. Poshmark usually is a little bit more, but because I had the Instagram sales, you're seeing that little differentiation there. So Poshmark, I would say, is generally in the 70% range. So that's where we're at with that. I thought this was really neat that Poshmark offers this gross profit, average sale price, and sell-through rate. Thought that was great. And then seeing your breakdown, I think, is always a great way to kind of gauge where you're focusing your time and where the efforts are going into. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see this really well. I'm gonna have to come closer to my screen because the font's a little small. But this is my profits and sales, which you guys can't see what the totals are, but that's not why I put these on here. I put this on here to kind of give you an idea of what's selling in my closet right now. So these are the categories, and then on the bottom, it kind of breaks down into subcategories. So in terms of categories, you can see that tops, jeans, pants, shoes are kind of all in the same range, which makes sense. They're generally things that I'm always sourcing. Skirts, I hardly ever source skirts, so it doesn't surprise me that I don't really sell many of those. Intimates and sleepwear, I have a bunch of Third Love bras that I've been selling. So you see that's, I mean, it's not high, but selling those as well. Dresses. Holy moly, am I selling dresses? And this is a category that I just never really enjoyed up until I want to say the last year. I really tried to embrace dresses because I know there's a market for it and I know that there is a way to make good money on dresses. And I have a surplus of dresses right now that I am on like a dress hiatus. I cannot purchase any more dresses to resell. But I'm really happy to see that it actually is doing really well. It's one of my biggest movers right now. I think with the weather getting nicer and people being able to go out and do things, and a lot of those factors, weddings started happening again last year, and they'll for sure be happening this year. And the world is kind of coming back to what we know. People going back to the office and stuff. So it's nice to see that dresses is a category that's doing well. Swim, I just came into a lot of swim. If you guys have followed me on Instagram, you'll see that I purchased quite a bit of solid and striped swimwear, and it's been selling really well. So that's why that category is up. Otherwise, on a normal day, swim would be at 0 because I never sell swim. I know a lot of you guys always tell me that swim does well for you, but it's not something that does well for me. Bags. Okay, so bags usually was on par with jeans and tops and pants and all that. Bags has not been on par with those other categories I sell all the time over the last 6 months. And I think there's multiple factors that go into this. I think a lot of it plays into the people aren't really going to many places. People aren't going to the office, so they're not really looking to have new bags. I'm obsessed with bags, so I'm always looking to get a new handbag. Handbag and shoes are my thing. But I think it's just one of those categories that have declined a little bit for me. So I'm very cautious when I pick up handbags. I still sell them. I don't want it to sound like I'm not selling them because I am. They're just not something that is on an uptick for me. And then this last category, shorts. I don't really have a lot of shorts. This was a sale I had today. I sold one pair of shorts today and they were Madewell shorts. So not really a category I like to pick up. I don't like picking up shorts. But they were made well. They were new with tags. It was kind of like a no-brainer. So does any of this surprise you guys? Like, does my category surprise you in terms of where they're at? What are your categories at? Like, let me know in the chat what you guys are thinking, seeing some of these analytics. And then I'm going to go through some of these comments before we go into my subcategories. I'm going to take a sip of water because I've been talking for a half hour and my mouth and throat are dry. Linda said, oh, this is on the Vineyard Vines, right? The sweater. It's on Poshmark for $75, but I take an offer. Yeah, I think that's a fair price to have it at. That's a fair price. The right buyer will come along for it. Vineyard Vines is a very specific audience, so I would hold out on that. You'll get an offer on it. Robin, I'm assuming this is about the handbag you got at the Bins in Queens, and it hasn't been listed for long. Send me a counter offer and see what happens. Yeah. Deb, me too. I love wearing dresses. It is definitely my go-to in the summer, especially for work. It's just so easy. I can just throw it on and I don't have to worry about anything. It's just I throw it on and that's it. Like I don't have to worry about does this match this and that and put on a pair of Birkenstocks and we're good to go. Yes, the ROI on dresses. They can be really good, but this also depends on where you're sourcing your dresses. So some of these dresses that I've sold are actually retail arbitrage. So the cost of goods were between $10 to $15, and they're selling between the 50 to 75 or higher. Mark, I think it depends. If you're going to go into formal wear, I think it can vary a little bit there too, because sometimes you can pay up for those pieces, like up to $50, and then sell them for over 100, 200. So, but yes, I think the return on investment on dresses can be very, very good. Sabrina, hello. Bags are such a good profit. They really are. They really are. But I do notice I don't sell them as much as I used to. But yes, I love selling a handbag. Definitely do. I feel like bag trends also don't move as fast as other trends. Yes. So I actually saw an article the other day about Mary Kate Olsen, and she kind of like started the mini bag trend. Go back a couple years ago. She was seen in New York City wearing the mini bag, and then it kind of exploded everywhere else. The other day, she was seen wearing two large tote bags, not just one, but two. I'm talking like half the size of her body. She's tiny to begin with. Two of them. So I do see bigger bags coming back on trend. I do think the mini is still a thing. I do think the belt bags are still a thing, but I think you're going to see a lot of tote bags kind of make a comeback. Bags come and go. But I feel like overall, most people don't change the style of bags they like too often. Like I definitely would never go back to a shoulder bag because I just love crossbodies and I love tote bags that have a nice long handle. But I also like a good top handle and no strap of any sort. So I think it just depends. All right. Let's go to my subcategories. This is super small. Sorry, I'm gonna dig right in here. Let me just put my computer up a little closer to me. Maybe that will help. So my highest my two highest categories will be mini dresses, subcategories, I'm sorry, are mini dresses, which is goes on par with what we just talked about on the podcast. Thrifters Villa, if you guys don't know, is a podcast that I am on. We talked about Y2K styles. Y2K styles have a lot of minis, micro minis. So not surprising that minis is one of the top selling categories. We have this highest one in the middle is one piece bathing suits. That's the bathing suits that I've come into. My blah blah, can't talk right now, that I purchased a lot of, and those are selling. Then we come here to the other side. We've got blouses, skinny jeans, maxi dresses, leggings, and crossbodies. They're all kind of even. Skinny jeans are a little bit lower, but you see that those are doing really well. Interesting to me that skinny jeans has surpassed high-rise jeans. That's interesting to me. I would assume that high-rise would be higher than skinny, but whatever, something to keep in mind, I suppose. Some low categories that I was surprised by was my wide leg jeans are super low. So that was interesting. Jean shorts, not a surprise to me. Midi dresses also on the decline for me. Uncategorized, not sure. That might have been my laptop that sold. I don't know. But it says uncategorized there. Let me see. I can't see. This is like a little pop-up. It keeps coming up every time I try to look at the graph, and it's very annoying. Sweatshirts and hoodies, I really don't sell a lot of those. So that's not, again, lower category. Yeah, so I'm not totally surprised by what I'm seeing on the graphs. It's giving me an idea of what people are looking at right now, what people are kind of going towards in terms of selling. The mini dresses was something that makes sense given the trends that are out there right now. But that high rise and wide leg and skinny thing, that's interesting to me. Do you guys know, are you selling a specific style of jean more than others right now? I feel like I'm selling more straight leg, and I don't see straight leg on here. Oh no, this is straight leg right here. Straight leg is right next on the right of one piece, and not that high. Huh. Interesting. It's so funny, like, what our perception is of what we're selling, and then when you actually see the data in front of you and you're analyzing it, you're like, "Oh, well, I guess my perception of it was wrong because I thought I was selling more of this and I'm really not." So, this is interesting. And this is the month in review right now. So, this is kind of, where we're at. Let me just check in with the chat here, guys. Sorry, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just trying to give the information, and explain my process here. Sabrina is saying that she hadn't sold one dress all winter and sold 8 this month so far. Yeah, people are getting ready for spring and summer. They're ready. They want to go outside. The weather's nice in certain places. People go on vacation. So I think that's why swimsuits and dresses are doing so well right now too. People are really excited to be able to travel and vacation and go places. Linda, good question. Do I sell hard goods or focus on apparel and accessories? I definitely focus on apparel and accessories. I have dabbled in hard goods, but it is not a category that I am comfortable with or a category that I've really had much experience with. However, I do like to source hard goods for myself, for my home, for things that I want to have either in my office or, like I said, in my house. So I'm trying to be better about going into the hard goods section and kind of looking around and researching different pieces. I'm trying to watch a lot of content on hard goods because I do think that there is a big market when it comes to hard goods. And I think that's a category that generally doesn't see the same decline or slowdown as clothing does. Clothing definitely has slowdown moments, and we definitely see a bigger hit. I feel with the hard goods, when people are looking for specific things, they tend to go online and search for things and they get what they want and what they've been looking for. So I'm not, but I'm always looking to improve and to see other ways that I can make money. I sold my old MacBook Air on Poshmark. Oddly enough, I didn't even share this with you guys. I sold my MacBook Air on Poshmark, and I have it listed everywhere: eBay, Facebook Marketplace, Mercari, you name it, it was listed on it. I sold it on Poshmark, which that was odd to me, and it sold for $250. Now, this is an old MacBook Air. It was like a 2011 MacBook Air. Really great condition, still worked and everything. But the girl who bought it, her boyfriend had been looking for one, and because he's a collector of them. So I was very happy to give it to her. But yeah, I just didn't think that Poshmark would be the place that I would sell an electronic, and it was, which worked out wonderfully because in terms of shipping, it made it a lot easier for me. I'd rather be caught dead than wearing high-waist jeans. Are you kidding? All I wear is high-waist jeans. But I also have a very short torso. So it is very difficult for me to wear anything other than high-rise jeans. Even mid-rise, they're very difficult for me to wear. I am all legs and no torso. That is who I am. I sold a good number of linen pieces recently. It is almost linen season. Good thing to note here, Sabrina. Linen, nice cottons, hemp, anything like that. Those nice, airy, breezy pieces are definitely things to be listing right now. People are looking for them. Or tried and true flax, which is usually all linen or all cotton. I sold a flax dress 2 weeks ago. I didn't incorporate it in this little what sold clip that I did, but it sold $45, and it was a flax. I think it was in my first what sold for 2022. It was a tan colored, cream colored, long sleeve linen dress, and it sold. Are your thrift prices going up? Yeah. The other day, I went to Salvation Army, and Salvation Army is kind of like my go-to when I'm feeling like I'm not getting anywhere in a Savers or anything. Because the majority of stores around me are Savers. We have one Goodwill in Rhode Island, and then we have consignment stores, and we have Salvation Army. So I walk into the Salvation Army and I'm looking around, and every single thing that I'm looking at is priced at $15.99 or higher. Salvation Army was never priced like this before. Now, I think inflation is hitting them as well. I think the lack of help that they've had, the amount of time that other employees have had to put in, there's a lot of things, right, that go into this. The cost of just having a business in general has gone up. So I did expect prices to increase to an extent. Also, a lot of people are thrifting. Thrifting is a really cool thing to do. So I anticipate a little bit of a price increase, but I found a pair of Jill Sanders navy blue pants, work pants, not anything special. $18.99. No, ma'am. I am not paying $18.99. That is not happening. Not even from like I typically send that stuff to the RealReal. You're not going to even catch me paying that much to sell it myself. That is too high. Not doing it. So yes, my thrift store prices are going up. I have to be very resourceful. I will say when it comes to sourcing, we can jump right into sourcing. So let me get out of this and remove the slides and just show my face. I have been very creative with sourcing lately. I have really focused on sourcing online over the last few months. Yes, it has driven my cost of goods to go up a little bit. But I'm okay with it because I'm curating the pieces that I'm getting. And I think that's the most important thing to remember when you are in the process of sourcing online or looking to source online or find new ways to source, because maybe your thrift stores, you're not able to get the stuff you used to get, or it's becoming very difficult for you to get there by a certain time, because there's other resellers that go. There's so many factors, right? The prices are high, all these other factors that go into it. I think if you can become comfortable with the idea of finding new ways, and it doesn't have to be sourcing online. It could be going to your neighborhood app or community page and asking people if they have items that they want to donate, items that they're going to be dropping off at Savers or wherever it is anyway. That you'll take it off their hands and and tell them what you do. Tell people what you do, and you can acquire inventory that way as well. So you don't have to go the online sourcing route, but that's the route that I've been going. And I've been sourcing on the RealReal a lot, and I have found some really great pieces. And I have sold a few of those pieces, and it's very addicting, but it's great because I can't get to the thrift store. It's hard for me to get there during the week. If I go, it's on a Saturday and not always the best. Or if I go after work, I'm not guaranteed to find anything when I get there because they haven't stocked when I'm there, or they finish stocking at a certain time. So by the time I get to the thrift store, it's usually after 5 or 5:30, and they stop stocking around 4. So that makes it hard for me. Not saying that I can't find things when I go, because I can. It just with the prices going up and gas being so high, I have to really think about sourcing and where do I want to go and what do I want to do. And I've been going to Boston a lot. I'm probably going to limit my Boston trips because gas is $4.55 right now. So, there's so many different factors that go into it, but I have enjoyed online sourcing. I've been online sourcing for the last couple of years. It's not a huge part of my business. 75% of my business is thrifted goods or secondhand in general. Even if it's bought at a consignment store, it's definitely secondhand goods and at a physical location. A lot of sandals are selling. That's great. I actually don't have many sandals listed, so I haven't noticed anything. Hi, Samantha. I saw an article today that some thrift stores are limiting how many items people can buy at a time if they find out they are resellers. I'm sorry. Really? This is fascinating to me because in the retail world, what do you care? You're moving items and you're creating profit to meet your daily, weekly, and monthly goal. So if I want to buy an entire shelf of something, I should be able to do it. But that is interesting that there was an article on that. Price hikes seem to be regionally on East West Coast. Here in Chicago, the prices are low with lots of discount days. I'm jealous of your discount days. We don't have, I know on the West Coast, you guys have like dollar days and stuff. We don't have dollar days here. We have a color that could be $1. That's about it. I haven't sourced since my 3-day away in the beginning of March. I think I'm going to focus on what I have on hand and get that out. Great point. And I'm going to add to this. I'm done sourcing for the month. I did my sourcing over the last 2 weeks. I think I have enough stuff to last me. If I don't, I'll pull things from my closet. I am not sourcing. I can't afford to source. The sales are not coming in the way I need to. I need to focus on other things in my business, whether that be refining different things in my inventory system, which we can talk about, guys, if we want to talk about inventory systems. I'm open to talking about that too. I am focusing on the pieces that I have, moving those pieces. If they're not moving, creating piles, sending them to different places. We'll transition to the RealReal and front up in a moment. And just taking this time to just use what I have and not spend the money, because if the money's not coming in the way that I need it to come in, I can't be going out there spending money on gas and going to the thrift store to find things. I can't. That's not in my business model. It might be in yours, but I can't do it. I'm interested to see the prices in Hawaii when I go. Yeah, I don't remember where I heard this, so I can't name sources, but someone that I know or follow was thrifting in Hawaii, and so the prices were higher than she expected, but don't quote me on that. Good idea on online sourcing. So hard in Canada on the shipping front. Yeah. Oh, you Canadians, I know. I feel for my Canadian friends because you got to pay the oh my God, what's it called? You guys have an additional fee plus the taxes plus everything. It's a lot. And I think you, Sabrina, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can source on the RealReal, correct? As a Canadian resident, I believe the RealReal ships to you. I know Fashion File does, but I don't know about the RealReal. I live in LA and the gas combo is honestly so stressful. Yes, I agree with you. $4.55 is high for us here. I know you guys on the West Coast, I'm sorry, we're approaching what, $7? That's insane to me. That is absolutely insane. The gas would be $7. I mean, your cost of living is a lot higher. I get it, like evens out, but that's nuts. I'm in LA. I was driving through Beverly Hills the other day and gas was over $7. Are you kidding, Jamie? Over $7? Oh my God. I have not filled my gas tank up because I'm petrified to see what it's going to be. I need to fill it up tomorrow. Last time I went to fill up my gas tank was almost a week ago. I've been like limiting where I've been going to work and home. The end. I've been going nowhere else. And it was, I want to say almost $50. And I have a 12-gallon tank. I have a 4-cylinder 12-gallon tank, and it was still $50. So I can only imagine what it's going to be tomorrow when I fill it up. Probably closer to $60. I've just been going to the bins once a week and buying enough for the week to limit gas consumption. That's another way to do it. If you are a bin shopper, great point. Buy in bulk and keep your cost of goods low and find a way to do it that way. That's a great point. I don't go to the bins. The bins are almost 2 hours away, and it's a whole day thing for me, and I have to spend a whole Saturday there. It's a lot for me. So I just don't go. And I also don't necessarily enjoy the process of it. Sorry. I know I'm like the odd man out on that. Linda, you saw the article too. What is this article? Someone send me the article. Put it in the chat if you can, so we can all look at the article. Hey, Wendy, did you just get off of work or have you been home? Duties. That's it. Thank you. Thank you, Wendy. I couldn't remember it. Duties. That's for our Canadian friends. They have to pay duties. I went sourcing yesterday and hit up 8 stores and literally drove out a map for myself to maximize mileage. I do this all the time. I recommend everyone to do this when they go sourcing. We talked about this in a Thrifter's Villa episode as well. Map out where you're going. Have it literally the night before you go anywhere. Map it out. Go on Google, check out what's around what, and figure out what is not only the easiest way to get the places you need to go to, but what makes the most sense so that you're using your time accordingly. Account for your time. Super important. Always account for your time. Jamie. Yeah, no, I'm at the point where I'm gonna purchase a bicycle and drive to work with my laptop backpack on, my tote bag that has everything else in that I need, my carry-on, right, that I was talking about before. Yeah, no, nope. I'm hoping, I don't know if this is gonna be the case, that with all these increases that they're gonna kind of push us to work from home more. That would be nice. Oh, did I figure out my inventory system yet? Good question, Sabrina. Okay, so for the most part, yes. I have everything is in designated bins and it's working out really well. The reason why I never completed my videos for my inventory system is because I kind of stopped. I still have not figured out the shoe portion 100%. I have all of my boots that aren't leather in totes. So boots that I know are rugged and aren't going to get destroyed if they're on top of each other. They're in their own totes. I have an enormous tote filled with like flats and all these other shoes in there that need a shelving system of some sort. The shelving system that I showed you guys, if you watched my video on it, that was in the closet that I found, the brackets are actually broken. So we need to buy brackets and probably buy additional shelves and make the second closet. All of my more delicate leather shoes are going to go in there. And then shoes that I don't really need to worry about, like transfer or anything, are probably going to go back into a tote. But I'm going to put them in bags. I think that's the consensus that I got from everyone too that left comments and whatnot was I'm going to bag the shoes because I put them in bags anyway when I ship them off to someone or some type of like protectant, right? So I think I'm going to do that. So the shoes that are going to go in a tote, that's going to be my game plan for that. But shoes has definitely been the hardest. My handbags are all in a tote in one of the closets, so they're not on the floor anymore. So that's good. So yeah, I kind of figured it out. I feel like it's an ever evolving thing, and I don't have the amount of inventory where I have a number system yet. Maybe I'll get to that point, but right now I'm not finding that I have a hang up or that I require a number system. The tote scan system that I have has been very helpful to me. I can pull in my sales in about less than 5 minutes. It depends on how many sales I have. I have to pull about 6 sales tonight. That'll take me between 5 to 7 minutes. So I think for right now, I'm good where I'm at. But we'll see. It's an ever evolving process, right? Deb says, I need to put gas in my car tomorrow. I take public transportation most of the time. I have a Goodwill and Salvation Army in walking distance, so I haven't driven a car since last Thursday. That's great. I wish I had a thrift store in walking distance. That is amazing. No car, so I take the bus. Monthly pass prices, excuse me, are fixed for the year. Talking too much. So gas prices don't affect me. That is good. Sorry, guys. I'm going to mute myself for 1 second. That's what I get for talking too much. Look at that. My eyes watering. I'm crying. You guys are making me cry. Except carrying my haul on the bus. That's got to be tough. Oh, I went at midnight last night and still up. Oh my God, go to bed, Wendy. Stop listening to me and go to bed. Thank you for coming on, though. I appreciate it. Wendy is a postal worker. So shout out to Wendy. She pulls some late shifts sometimes. I put the shoes in the RealReal bag. I do that too when I ship them. But that's a good idea. I could do that as well, Robin. Put them in the RealReal bags and then store them. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm crying right now. Article was from Canada. Oh, come on. That's not fair. I feel like, I don't know. There's got to be an American version of that article somewhere. Women on one shelf, men's and kids on the other, boots on the floor. That's an idea too. I have way too many shoes, so I definitely can't do that. What brand do you just love selling? Oh, goodness. There's so many brands I love selling. I don't know if I could pick one. I would say consistency-wise, I love, in terms of things that I know that are going to sell for me, I love selling my bread and butter brands. So my Madewell's, my Levi's, but like specific things within those brands. So my Levi's ribcage, um, the Levi's utility pant. That's another great one. It's a wide leg. It's got a cargo feel to it too. In terms of Madewell, love selling the stovepipe. If I could pick any brand, like there's not one brand that I could pick that I want to sell every day. Like I would love to find Ula Johnson every day. That'd be great. But that's not a thing. If I could find Doc Martens every day, that would be wonderful. I would love to sell those at all times. It's hard to pick like one specific brand. I feel like the brands that I know are going to make me my money, the ones that I want to sell all the time. I really don't care what brand it is, but if it's going to continuously sell for me, I want it in my closet. Let me just look really quick. Let me just go through here. There was this new brand to me that I recently found. I think it's called Faherty, Faherty. That's the coat that I sold on eBay. I found some that were new with tags, and I had never sold it before, but the retail was really high and it seemed to have a following. If I could find that brand more in the outerwear, that'd be one to have on my list. I'll put it in the chat so you guys can see what the spelling of it is. But that brand right there, I like it. I like it. I love the Real dust bags. Yes, if you consign with the RealReal or buy from the RealReal, keep the dust bags because you can use them like over and over and over again. A regular seller, yeah. Yeah, see, I think there are some tried and true pieces, and it's different for everyone. Like someone on here could say Chico sells amazing for them, and that's great. I personally can't. I can sell J. Jill. If I find some good linen J. Jill pieces, you bet your ass I'm going to list them and they're going to sell. So yeah, it depends per person. Doc Martens again so much. Doc Martens are hot, Cindy. They are hot. They're definitely they always have been. I have a pair of Docs actually that I need to list, but they're not like the combat boot. They're an ankle boot, but they're the canvas material. I don't know what they're called. But they're like the basic one. They don't retail high or anything. Bye, Jamie. Thank you for coming. If you guys don't follow Jamie on Instagram, I'm going to put her handle in the chat. Let me just find it, make sure I type it correctly. It is shop. All right, that's Jamie. She's a good Instagram friend of mine, but she also posts really great content and finds some really great pieces. So definitely check out Jamie. She just recently did an Instagram sale too. And of course, I bought a piece from her. Got to support my friends. Okay, yes, the RealReal. Sorry, totally forgot that we were going to talk about this. How has my strategy changed? Well, the last box I sent to them were basically rejects that I've had for months that I just never sent. They changed their commission structure and I haven't really done anything. So I sent that box in. I'm going to make a recap video on all this once they process all the items. They still haven't processed everything. They're behind. A lot of those pieces that I sent in are marked at 30%. Now I paid $5 or less for those pieces, so I'm okay with it. Really not okay with it, but they were rejects and I've had them for so long. I don't care at this point. I just get them out of my house. I need to strategize better and figure out what are the pieces and the brands that are going to sell. I haven't figured that out yet because I've been out of the game for a little bit when it comes to the RealReal. I wasn't thrilled with the pricing, but when I make my video, maybe I'll have a better idea. I'll just while you guys are here, I will go into my sales. I can't share my screen with you guys. I don't have a second screen. If I had a second screen, I could share my screen and show you guys all this, but I don't. And unfortunately, with StreamYard, unless you have a second stream, there's no audio that happens. And I can't see you guys. And the screen looks weird. Anyway, I tried doing it and it was a complete disaster. Let me go into my consignments. Consignments. The RealReal app stinks. It just freezes all the time, but it's definitely my go-to. Ooh, they just started processing my second box that I sent. This box, the second box is why I'm waiting to make my video because I'm very curious to see what they take in the second box. All right. For example, the Sandro knee-length skirt that I sent that I got for 99 cents to Salvation Army was listed for $50. There was a 20% coupon. I only got 30%, $9.60. Not complaining. I paid $1, just lower than I thought. The Max Mara dress that I had bought at Boston that I sent in, they had that listed at 150, and I get 50% commission. So that one I'm okay with. Let me scroll here. The 3.1 Philip Lim silk floral blouse that I was debating, maybe I should sell it myself, got listed at $55, and I have 30% commission. Could I recall it and sell it myself? I already tried twice. We're just gonna leave it. We're just gonna leave it there. Let me take this off of there. Let's see. My YSL men's silk tie that I sent in that I paid 99 cents for was listed at 20. Sorry, no, it was listed at, it must have been listed higher than that because it sold at $20 with 20% off and they made 6. So you're not gonna make a lot of money on ties. Robin will tell you that. Robin's a big real girl too. You're not gonna make a lot of money on ties. Lafayette priced at 50. That was kind of a given. My Max Mara leather tote that I sent. This one is interesting to me. They're holding off on pricing it. I don't know why, but the price says coming soon, and it's said that for 2 weeks now. But it's accepted. They photographed it. I have no idea what this is going to be priced at. I'm really curious to see what this gets priced at. My AGL sandals that were in a box that I sent to them, priced at $95. I only make 30%. Might recall those. Might end up selling those myself. My Burton coat got listed at 55 with 30% commission. Everything's basically at $50 or $60 with 30% commission. Everything else that's on there. So I don't know. I need to figure out what I'm going to do moving forward and what I'm going to send in. I'm curious if they started to go through. They have. Okay. Oh, this must be a new thing. Everything says coming soon. Everything says coming soon. They're actually taking quite a few of these pieces. I literally threw random things in this box and had no idea if they were going to take it or not. I will say I must have accidentally thrown some Coach things in here. I didn't mean to do that. That was supposed to go in the thread up box. Obviously, they didn't take that. Mark by Marc Jacobs they took. I had a, it's not a Chloe wallet. It's a C by Chloe wallet. So I hope they mark it correctly when they list it, because someone's going to be real upset when they realize that it's C by Chloe and not Chloe. They took my Michael Kors. Did not take my Paul Green leather ankle boots. Okay. Took my Kate Spade. Took the Aquatalia. Took the Todds. This might be a good box, guys. Whatever they don't take from this box is going to thread up. So when I make a video, I'll explain all the things that I sent. But this is all handbags and shoes, and they've taken the majority of them. So this is gonna be that'll be a fun one for me to experiment with and to see what it is exactly that they're gonna price some of these items at. Are they valuing shoes and handbags on a different level? I'm just really curious. Just curious to see. I know I skipped some other comments. Sorry, I'll go back to you, Wendy. We love J. Jill. J. Jill's a good one. She really is. Wendy, my daughter bought listen to me, Doc Martens to go to her sequin prom dress this year. Okay. Having this conversation with someone at work today whose daughter is going to like a winter ball, kind of, not a winter ball. Oh my God. Like a formal, right? Like a spring formal type thing. And she's going to be wearing Converses with her Y2K style dress. Yes. Okay. The RealReal is having a promotion. You are correct. It happened last month and it's happening this month. So if you sell 20 items in March, you get $200 credit, or 100 if you sell 10. Yeah, I believe that's correct. But yes, it's incentive to send things in. You get the credit because then you can use that credit to source or buy yourself something. I'd probably use it to source. Anytime I've gotten a credit, I use it to source every single time, except this last time. Oh, I didn't tell you guys this. There was a piece that I sent in October that never got listed, and I honestly completely forgot about it. I went to go look the other day because I was like, oh, whatever happened to that piece that I had sent in? It was a 2-piece, and they listed it as a 2-piece. I know some of you guys have issues with that, but they actually listed it as a 2-piece. It was unlisted, and it was supposed to go live in November. So I reached out to my rep, and she was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Reached out to consignor relations, this, that, the other. I got a $30 credit. So that was cool. And they listed it the next day, and it sold that same day. And I made 70% commission on there. So that was nice. But the RealReal is good about their credits. And I used that credit, that $30 credit, to buy myself a pair of Gucci shoes, which I'll show you guys probably on Instagram when they come in. The Gucci shoes were marked at $172 or something, which was a mistake because every other pair that is similar to this Gucci shoe is listed at $500 plus. So very curious to see what these Gucci shoes look like when I get them tomorrow. So I'm excited about that. Yes, Cindy, the RealReal app is so slow. Oh my God. Yep, that happens to me too. The consignment, we go to the consignment tab on the phone. It is completely blank sometimes. I know, I have the same issue. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's up my throat here. I've noticed that the RealReal has been marking a lot of stuff at 95, which is the cutoff between 30. Yeah. I mean, they're not stupid, right? Like, they're running a business. This is what they're going to do. They're going to mark things in a way that makes sense for them. I can't blame them. They have a business to run. They have an overhead that they have to hit and employees that they need to pay. So it does make sense. That's what they've done since the change. Yeah. And and as a seller or a consignor, it makes it tough to really figure out what it is that you need to send in, what it is that they're going to mark at. It's a little bit of a roller coaster ride right now, but we'll figure it out. How do you recall your items listed for a while? I literally just reach out to my rep. I text her, call her, whatever's easier. I have a good relationship with my rep. And I just tell her, hey, listen, I screenshot all the things that I want pulled and I send it to her and she takes care of it. So I screenshot I go into my consignment tab or my items tab, whichever one. And I just screenshot it so the item number is on there and I send it off and go from there. It's because they're waiting to get a good price. It usually takes so long. Yeah, I've seen that, but then I've also seen them price something, have the listing ready to go, and then change the price right before it goes live. Usually in my favor. So I'm curious to see how this Max Mara bag goes. How long does the RealReal keep your stuff listed for? Until it sells. Which I see Robin already answered there. They keep lowering the price, yes, but then I've also noticed when it reaches a certain point, they increase the price. I don't think they do to every piece, but they do to some pieces. I think it's when the season change comes, and if it is categorized in a certain season, they'll increase the price again. I've had that happen a few times to me. Might have been a glitch. I don't know. But it doesn't go anywhere until you either recall it or it sells. Yeah, Robin, you said that. My Michael Kors just got accepted. That's insane. My Michael Kors and my Kate Spade all got accepted. It all depends on who's opening your box, guys. All depends on who's opening your RealReal box. I know, maybe this is just me, but this is the way that I envision the RealReal is like a handful of people sitting in a circle opening boxes. I don't know why. This is the vision I have in my head of a small little group of people that go through the boxes and they update it on the computer. That is not how it works. It is an enormous warehouse in various places in the country. But for whatever reason, I think it's like Joe from down the street opening my box. And every time I resend things in, Joe's probably like, why does she keep sending this? I keep rejecting it. That's what I see in my head. What's the most you've had a single item sold in return? I've had a Prada puffer jacket listed since December and it's been sold 7 times. Okay, I have a story on this. I had a Max Mara cashmere slash wool coat that I had on the RealReal, was listed at, oh, I think it was originally listed at like 1,600, which is wild. And it kept getting returned. And then it was getting marked down because, I mean, time was passing. We were in winter when it was happening, and time kept passing by. And I reached out to him numerous times, like, I think there's something wrong. I think your sizing is wrong. Cause I remember I tried the coat on because I was going to keep it for myself, but it was just a little too snug. They had it listed as a small on the website. And I was like, there's no way this is a small. You need to pull it and remeasure because this fit me. And I'm like between a 14, 16. So how does that make any sense? What I believe happened is whatever the sizing was, it's supposed to be Italian sizing. I think they thought it was a different European size. I don't know. So finally, after like many times me going back and forth, they ended up pulling it down, sizing it correctly. They sized it as a large, and it kept selling. Like, it wasn't the item wasn't the issue, it was the sizing that was the issue. But by the time it got relisted, we were in end of March, beginning of April, and the item, and like, I shouldn't even be angry, and I'm not angry about it, but what would have originally been a $1,700 sale ended up being a $1,200 sale. So, and I wasn't at 70% at the time. I was in the middle tier, so I didn't make as much. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying, like, I missed out on some profits because you guys took so long with me going back and forth with you. So I wasn't too happy about that, but they fixed it and they made it right. And I believe my rep ended up giving me a credit the next month because she felt so bad that I know I didn't get it that month. It was the next month that this took so long, and I missed out on some profits and stuff. Anyway, Kate Spade doesn't get priced as high in the RealReal thread up. No, but I think it depends on I don't know. I never send in my Kate Spade, so I'm curious. I don't really know how I feel about it. I kept a lot of my really pretty Kate Spade, but I'm also super careful about what I pick up when it comes to Kate Spade because it's a saturated market and it just doesn't do as well as I think we anticipated to do. She usually wears Vans every year. I love that. I love that. Just wondering why you send things to the RealReal instead of selling it yourself and keeping more profit. It's definitely different for each item. I see Robin says the lazy lister, less work. That's definitely a part of it. I think the RealReal has a different market for different items and different brands. That a brand that would typically sit for a long time for me on Poshmark or eBay, whatever it is, I don't want to be bothered with that. I want to move inventory. I'm in the business of moving inventory. I don't want to house a lot of inventory. It's not my style. I don't like that. It's just sitting money. So if I can send it somewhere, if my cost of goods is $5 and below, sometimes I go up to $7. It depends. Again, depends on the piece. Like that Max Mara coat that I found, I paid $15 for it. So it really depends. And a lot of it is experience of selling on the app and doing the research and finding the pieces that sold on there and kind of gauging it that way. I always filter solds before I send something in to kind of get an idea of what I may get. But it's a learning curve. But yeah, there are just certain brands like Lafayette 148 and let me think, Lafayette 148, Jill Sanders, Sandro, just a lot of brands that I do come in contact with often that I just have no interest in selling myself. But there's always exceptions, like the Emporio Armani dress that I found. I typically send in Armani, but that piece I wanted to sell myself, and I ended up doing it really well. I'm so sorry. Your rep is awful, Cindy. I'm so sorry. I'm so lucky that I have a good rep. I'm so excited to see the Gucci shoes too. Hello, Shannon. Hello. Send 2 bucks and say, list your episode need to make the braces payment. Yeah, I got to make my braces payment too in 3 weeks. So I need to make some money. I have a Chanel 2015 pre-collection black wool blazer, retail $7K on Poshmark 328. This is a good one. I personally would probably send the Chanel in. Chanel gets marked really high on the RealReal in many places. I just don't know if Poshmark is the right audience for it. You could try Tradesy, you could try eBay, you could try Vestiaire. That's another good one to try. Maybe give those a go first before sending it in. But I would do a little search, like I was just saying. Go on the RealReal's website and search and see what similar pieces have sold for, and it might be worth it to send it in. I haven't sent anything in a while. I have a pair of Gucci Oxfords that have some toe wear. If you can clean them up and make them look good, you might be able to. But yeah, they're very particular about wear, except if there's just certain brands they don't even care, and they take them even with a ton of wear. Like even when I was sourcing for shoes the other day, I was like, "What? You took this? It's got marks everywhere." And I send something with a little scratch and you don't take it. It's very frustrating. I found a vintage 1950s Christian Dior cropped short blazer for $2 and sent it to the RealReal. Sold it for over 400. Yeah, Christian Dior. This is just a point blank statement. Christian Dior gets priced extremely high in the RealReal. I will always send my Christian Dior to the RealReal. I will never sell it myself. No. Chloe though gets marked very low, so I would hold on to Chloe before sending it in. I found was it Boa, I don't know how to say that, purse, and I was sure it was fake and it was real, so 375. That's the other great thing about them is that they'll authenticate to the best of their ability, right? Like other sources. So that's always great. Hi, Leslie. Thank you for coming and saying hello. The RealReal is processing my box and currently has a vintage Valentino slip mark at the knee length skirt. We'll see how that goes. It's still processing, but there's a photo. I think they market certain pieces different ways than maybe we would because they know what people are searching for on their website. I try to keep that in mind when I see their listings. I think they're kind of gearing towards the market trends that they're seeing on their site. Oh, suede is super hard. Suede is so hard. Yeah, I mean, you could try doing suede cleaner, but then there's that possible chance of it changing the color, and then you'd have to suede clean the whole shoe, and then you've got a whole new debacle on your hands. I don't know if I would do that either. Anyone else using Thrilling to sell vintage? It's doing well for me, especially Christian Dior. Okay, so Crystal, who is in our Patreon group for Thrifter's Villa, also a good local friend of mine. She's not here tonight, but she sells on Thrilling, and she has really great luck selling on Thrilling. So Galaxy Finds, is that her Instagram handle? I'll find it and leave it for you guys in the chat. So Crystal is our vintage queen in our Thrifters Villa community, and Galaxy Finds. Yep, that is her. Galaxy Finds. That is her handle on Instagram. If we always go to her with vintage questions, but she always tells us how well Thrilling does for her. So yeah, Etsy's another great place too. I totally forgot to even mention Etsy. Any vintage pieces designer can do really well at Etsy too. I just generally am in the camp of if I don't have to do the work, and I know there's a better market somewhere else, that's kind of where I go with that. Because this isn't my full-time income, right? That's coming in. She's the vintage wizard that she is. She's very good at vintage. That is her thing, and she is amazing at it. So she's always our go-to in the group that we go to and chat about vintage. I can't even believe it's almost 9 o'clock. I've been on here for a while. 1 hour and 23 minutes and 42 seconds to be exact, because that's what StreamYard is telling me. If you guys have any other questions or anything, feel free to leave them in the chat. I'll give you guys a few seconds. I know it's a little bit of a delay. This was so fun. Thank you guys. Did you enjoy this more interactive what sold instead of the traditional video, like highlighting the sales and having more of a conversation with you guys? Did you guys like that? Because I'm gonna be honest, I kind of prefer it so I don't have to make a video and edit and do all of that kind of stuff. Because editing is like another step of work that I need to do, where if I come live, I have a designated time. I just come in, we chat. Creating slides doesn't take long. I don't know. Let me know. Did you guys like that format? Or would you prefer the traditional what sold video in that more edited format? Curious. Thank you. My mommy bought them for me. My mommy buys a lot of my earrings. um, how did your last box of RealReal do? I came in late. Yeah, so I did talk about it like right before you came in, but I'm gonna do a whole video on the 2 boxes that I've just sent. That is a video that I'll probably do, or maybe I'll go live with it. Who knows? Maybe I'll do the same kind of format. But I did talk about it. So if you want to go back and watch it, you can, Shannon, or we can just chat about it later too. Oh, yay. I'm glad you guys liked this interactive format. Well, I hope this what's sold didn't bore you. I try to make it. I figured if I get bored with what sold, other people must get bored with what sold. So how can I take a traditional reseller video and then transform it into something that's a little more interactive? Like, this is my teacher brain. So if you don't know, I was a teacher for years before I was a state worker. And that's just how my brain works. So I like to have dual modality ways of learning. So for me, being live, interacting with people, other people interacting with people, showing things on the screen and hearing my voice might be a fun way to do it. And it's different. It's not what people traditionally do. And you guys have been staying around, which makes me feel good because I watch that little view count. I like to see who stays, who goes, whatever, and you guys have been pretty engaged. So, we'll see how that goes. Who knows? Love the interactive format. Yeah, I think it's great to be able to talk to people. I think that's like the whole point. I watch a lot of YouTube lives, not even reseller related YouTube lives. I do watch some, but a lot of the lives that I watch are like true crime type stuff. And I just love being able to interact with people. So I'm glad that you guys like that. I prefer lives. I just like editing videos as well. It's just another step, Leslie. Like, I love to create content. I love to share content. I love to network with people. But editing YouTube videos is like, it's part of the reason why I don't create as many videos as I would like to, because I just don't have the time to do it. But I have time to come on at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night and do a live on a designated night. I can pencil that in and I can hang out with everyone and people can be prepared for it and come on. Like, it's just different. It's just different. Oh, yeah. I usually watch a lot of late night lives too, whether I'm working or I'm getting ready for bed or something. Like, it's just what I do. Oh, good. I'm glad you liked it, Robin. I like what sold, just what to know what it sold for, not every other detail. So hopefully you like what I did in my what sold. I gave some details, but I also broke it down on the screen. So if you don't want to hear me, you can just look at the screen too. No need for perfect videos. Yeah, I agree. I I'm not a perfect video person by any means. I hardly edit. I don't wear makeup when I do these things. I don't have makeup on. I have my pajamas on. My hair is whatever. Like, I just don't care. Leslie, thank you so much. This is my first super chat. And Leslie was my first one. Thank you, Leslie. That means a lot coming from Leslie. She was my first super chat. Thank you so much. Never had one before. I'm filming my first. Oh, okay. So Robin is starting her YouTube channel. So make sure you guys subscribe to Robin's YouTube channel. Once you're done watching me, of course, subscribe to her channel. Make sure you start following her content. She's going to do a lot of real content. I love Robin. She's one of my Thrifters Villa gals, but I also just love her as a person, regardless that she's a part of the Thrifters Villa community. And I really want her to succeed on YouTube. So make sure you give her a subscribe and watch some of her videos that she's posted. Where was I here? Okay. Thrift Villa and Ginger Marvin's are bare bones. I think. Oh, I love Kathy. Ginger Marvin. I love, obviously I love the duo of Kathy and Chris, but I love Kathy. Just say what you paid, maybe where you found it and what it sold for. Yeah, yep. I'm with you on that. I love you too, Leslie. Thank you so much. Oh, film your area. It's kind of fun to see. Yeah. Yeah, I can see why people like that. I can see why people like that. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming on and chatting with me. Make sure you hit the like button so that other people will know that you like this. And then it sends it out to them too, and then to their feed. And I can get more friends to come on here. And we can have nice little chats. Maybe we'll make this like an every 2 week thing. I'll share like the highlights of my last 2 weeks of sales, and we kind of break it down in very similar format. We'll give updates. Maybe we'll just make this an all-inclusive thing. We'll update on the RealReal. We'll update on sales. We'll kind of do a little bit of everything, a little Q&A. I think that's what I'm going to do moving forward until I feel like filming an actual video. Oh, I am going to buy a harness type thing and be a weirdo. I found one for iPhones. So I'm going to buy a harness on Amazon and maybe do a thrift with me with like a harness on. And maybe I'll actually be motivated to film a thrift with me. I don't know. I make no promises on that. But thank you, everyone. Again, have a great week. I hope your sales are great this week. Feel free to reach out to me anytime. You guys know where to find me. If you don't, the links are in the description of this video. And yeah, that's it. Bye, everyone. Now comes the awkward moment where I end the broadcast, but you guys can still see me because it takes forever. Bye.